So we are just queuing up the next presentation here. So Patrick Orzechowski is about 25 years in cybersecurity and a dear friend of ours, and really excited to share some of his thoughts. Just bear with us for a couple minutes while we get his slides queued up, and we'll get things rolling.
Hello, everybody. I promise there will be no math in my presentation. Over the years, I've turned more into a sales guy and an engineer. So not a lot of deep dive. I won't go through my full resume here. But one thing I will point out is I'm new to Fully Homomorphic Encryption. Mike invited me here. Thanks for having me to talk about a potential use case for FHE that might be practical in the real world. Liam talked about some potential use cases. I think there are some real things that we can do with FHE to protect data and to isolate data, especially from a privacy and insider threat perspective. So I do have, the next one. I do have a lot of experience in cybersecurity, 25 years, and recently joined the CryptoLab folks, kind of an advisory role. Love cybersecurity. It's been a passion of mine forever. And I think in a post-quantum world, we're going to need this stuff to protect our data. So can we go to the next one? SIEM. Does everyone know what SIEM is or what it stands for? Have you heard of it? No. Okay. Know your audience, right? So SIEM is a common term for data aggregation platform in cybersecurity. In a security operations center, we take all the data from security relevant systems and put them in a single platform so we can do analytics and incident response on it. So
different from the SCADA system? Or
yeah,
similar?
you can put SCADA data inside of a SIEM.
Okay.
So think about any relevant industrial control system data, authentication data, those types of things. All that goes into a SIEM. Security Operations Center builds analytics to put on top of the SIEM. And that data is pretty sensitive, right? And even within teams, within an enterprise or within an organization, you want to keep that data compartmentalized, keep it separate. In my time at Deepwatch, I was one of the co-founding employees at Deepwatch. We grew about 200 customers. And when you have 200 customers sending data to a single SIEM, each customer wants that data isolated, right? I think that's a practical use of FHE in the future as well.
What's the acronym? What's the acronym for SIEM?
SIEM.
Does it have is it the capital, the first letters of something? Or
Yeah, security information.
Sorry.
Sorry. Good question. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, so
your audience.
Yeah, no, your audience. Yeah. I'm used to speaking at cybersecurity conferences. I'm sorry. So yeah, I mean, it's a data aggregation point. You can put industrial control system data. You can put SCADA data. A lot of times it's enterprise data from your Windows machines, from your Macintoshes. CrowdStrike is a common endpoint product that sends a ton of data, right? Everyone heard about CrowdStrike when they took down the entire world over the summer. CrowdStrike is Mike's favorite company. And network data as well. So firewall data, edge data, cloud data, it all goes into the SIEM. You build analytics on top of it in the hopes, keep your fingers crossed that you catch malicious activity before it gets too bad. So that's a SIEM, data aggregation, sensitive data. You want to keep it secure. I think, potential use case for FHE and SIEM, definitely data privacy, right? If you're a customer of someone where you send data to the cloud, I think, Liam mentioned the cloud-based applications, right? If you're sending data to Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and you don't want them to know what that data is, if it's sensitive, SIEMs are hosted in cloud environments a lot of time. Compliance. You have GDPR, you have all sorts of different requirements all over the world to keep data private. You have commercial compliance requirements around PCI, protecting cardholder data, those types of things. A lot of times cardholder data finds its way into a SIM. So you have to keep that either encrypted, protected, and prove that you can do it. Insider threats. A lot of times, I don't know if anyone knows about the Capital One hack. That was an insider who had access to data that they shouldn't have access to. I think with FHE, you could isolate the data, only give access to the folks who need it, and prove that potential insider threats don't have the capability to do malicious things. I mentioned cloud and multi-tenant. It's close to my heart. I built an MDR. Mike and I worked on an MDR, building out SIMs, right? You have customer data in there. You want to keep it separate. You want to keep it protected. You want to keep it encrypted. Challenges. I think these have been covered already. I know the audience, right? People know the challenges behind FHE. Performance is going to be an issue. Complexity of the integration. I'm just learning the architecture of what the folks here at CryptoLab built. But it does take refactoring of applications, I'm told, which can be complex, and limited operations, so complex capabilities. Liam just mentioned ML use cases. A lot of times in the SIM, you'll want to do analytics on domain names, for example, right, to see if they're potentially malicious or not, or look for outliers in authentication data. So a lot of limitations here, but I think long term, what everyone's talking about, the capabilities that I'm learning about, SIM could definitely be a good use case for it. All right,
Great. Thank you, Patrick.